Hi, my name is Jovan Hopkins, and this is my presentation. A topic that I struggle with the most this year would be the topic of inheritance. Now, a vocabulary related word to inheritance is called heredity. Now, heredity means is the passing of a physical or mental characteristics genetically from one generation to another. And what they mean by physical is by passing down. So your mother and your father, they have you, and you pass down what you got from their heredity. You pass down to your kids. So it can be like traits or genes, and mental on how you think, um, or the physical is how you look or appear or how you act. And that's what heredity would mean when passing down from generation to generation. So I think students might struggle with understanding how the parents pass on their genes to their offspring, and understanding that whoever has the dominant gene, the offspring will have their characteristics. So whoever has, let's say your dad has the dominant gene, then you will act like your dad and look like your dad. If your mother has the dominant gene, then you would act like your mother, or you would look like your mother. So that's how the dominant gene will work. Now, I have taken notes on the dominant gene off of a OLS lesson that I have done. And so there was a problem I struggle with the most out of the topic of inheritance also is symbols. Now, symbols I used to struggle with because I didn't understand which symbol was the man's and which was the female's. So now I understand. And so just a simple little problem that I've done is George has 7 kittens. 4 of the kittens are male, three of the kittens are females. And so what would be the symbols for the male and female? And so what I've learned is male for male is XY, and for female is XX. So the answer would be XY, 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 XX, XX, XX. And so that will be the answer. And so what that means is, so male, there would be 4 males, and like I said, it's XY, so it would be 4 XYs. And for the females, since it's XX, that's their symbol of their genes, it will be 3XX. And so that's how you get their answer. And so just some fun and important facts to know about inheritance would be two individuals can share up to 99.9% of the same genetic material and only differ in 0.1%. And I think that's fascinating because it could be just 2 of any individuals that are made this in the same material, in the same way. And we also have genetic similarity with 7% of genetic material with bacteria. It's E. coli bacteria, which is a type of bacteria. And people also share up to 21% of genetic material with worms. And I think that's interesting because we share up to 21% of the same material that we were created in that share with the worms. And it also goes with 90% of mice. And I think that's interesting because these are animals and they are made the same way. And even for bacteria. So I think that's just pretty awesome and a fun and important fun fact to know. And 98% of genetic material is made out of chimpanzees. And I think that's very interesting is because that's why we can understand that chimpanzees act like us and they are smart and they have learned and evolved. And so I think that's just interesting. And so this is my presentation. Thank you and goodbye.